Recording in progress. I love that sound. All right, here we go. So, ladies and gents, I'm super excited about this evening. This is our book review for my ebook, The Not So Secret Art of Getting Out of Your Own Way, The Overthinker's Guide to Finally Get Done. All right. Somebody reached out to me. They told me they were proud of me for cursing. And I said, well, got to do that sometimes. My wife even brought it up. She was like, babe, she was so shocked and proud. She was like, she had a proud mama moment, a proud wifey moment. It was funny. But yeah, you need to say it a certain way to drive the point home, right? Not that I didn't have, other words that could have fit there, but sometimes, you know what I mean? You need that gut punch, right? And so what this ebook is, what we're going to do tonight, I'll start like this. I have some amazing humans that I absolutely respect and I absolutely appreciate and I absolutely love, who I've been able to connect with through social media, which has been awesome, and create some really awesome bonds. And I sent the ebook out to them for them to read through and critique and review. And we didn't prepare anything for tonight. We're just doing it on the fly, which is awesome. I already got a little bit of feedback, a couple body shots, a little slap upside the head, which I totally appreciate and respect. And we're just going to dive in, honestly. So I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, because I don't want to do anyone a disservice by not introducing them in the proper manner, right? I believe that needs to be done properly. And so here we are. We will start with whomever grabs the mic first. Here we are.
My name is Stacey Sharp, and I've been working in education for 22 years. Wow. And through that, I'm birthing, I can't say it's fully there, but I'm birthing War Keys, LLC. So War Keys stands for We're All Responsible, Keep Every Youth Safe. It's where, I'll be speaking to teachers and other educators. Down the line, I'm hoping police officers as well, anybody that work with young people, how to keep them safe. And we know that safety is not just about physical. So, just how to approach them in the best manner. I mean, that's basically it. I have 3 children getting on my last nerves. I told them it was easier when y'all were little. Like, I can't believe everybody grown and y'all getting on my nerves like this. And we haven't talked in a minute, but I now have a granddaughter. Yeah, the son that you spoke to once, you knew he would be the one, but yeah, but she, sweetie, and that's pretty much it. Working on my health and collaborating with more beautiful people like y'all this year, so we can get some things going.
Love it. I love it. I love it. All right, next up.
I believe that's me.
Here we go.
What's going on, everybody? Okay, my name is Coach SJ. I'm a full-time entrepreneur, real estate investor, and what I do is basically teach people how to capitalize and take advantage of the great strategy of wholesaling real estate. But I also feel like it's very necessary, or it's important to have a mindset to do that. So I'm also into the whole strategy of having a change of paradigm and change of mindset when you do any type of business. So it's mindset coach plus investor. So I'm pretty much a hybrid of that. I'm just here to be able to provide value as much as I possibly can with my brother Reese, which we're still on we're in the same wavelength as far as educating individuals on how to be able to create a better them, right? So that's where I'm at as well. So we're on the same page.
Awesome. And then there was one amazing person left. Young lady.
I am Dee Metrics. I'm still trying to figure out what direction. Well, I know what direction I want to go in. I'm just trying to figure out how to bring it all together. The brand is going to be still like life coach, but it's going to be more like sensual total wellness is the direction that I'm going to go in. So
Awesome.
that's it.
I love it. So let me give her a quick plug, right? Have you guys ever seen one of her videos when
Yes.
when she's speaking? Yo, you have the $1 billion voice. I've told you this many times.
Oh,
Time I'm just
thank
like,
you.
and it's not just the voice. First of all, your voice will just kind of put people in a trance. But what you're saying is always so powerful, so impactful. It's beautiful. I was listening back to an old one of the morning shows. I used to do the morning show, and every time you would just drop a bomb. Every morning, your comments were gold. Like they need to be on t-shirts. So thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I know what this took for you to step in. There we go. I know this is a stretch, and I'm proud of you for a stretch, and I appreciate you for showing up. So let's get right to it. So I'm glad everyone shared a little bit about, kind of the direction that they're going in, and our energy is definitely aligned. And it's so funny how important that is, right? Because for me, for a very long time, I wasn't sure. I knew I had something to say. I knew I had the gift to speak into people. I knew I had all of these things going on, but I didn't quite know who the heck I was supposed to be talking to. And it was almost like I'm very comfortable talking to a 10-year-old and his grandfather, right? And everyone in between. I'm very comfortable sitting down talking to a married couple. And I'm also very comfortable sitting down talking to their children. I'm very comfortable sitting, you know what I mean, talking to. And so that, while it's a gift, it was acting as a curse, because I was just like, okay, who am I talking to? And so when I showed up online, I was just showing up like, I'm here giving general information, and I'm going to present this general piece of information and hope that whoever grabs it can grab it. And it wasn't until literally just a couple weeks ago that it connected, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on accountability, because we have people like the three of you who have gifts, who have talents, who need to take it forward, right? Who keep running into these obstacles, and most of the obstacles are in here, right? It's not really what's going on out there, but I'm the person to help you bring it on out, to help you remove those roadblocks. So I said, I'm gonna focus on accountability, but still it felt good, but it didn't feel like, yes, that's it, And then it hit me. My big mountain that's been in front of me, overthinking every freaking thing and talking myself out of everything. I figure if I'm suffering, someone who's fully invested in themselves, fully invested in growth and in learning, if I'm suffering, if I sit on something like this for over a year, and I have a list of things, this is just the first one I brought forward. If I hesitate to show up, I'm very comfortable speaking in public, but I still think. The world, this is a big issue that I need to tackle. And a peace came over me. Sean will tell you, a peace and excitement. And you know how they say that gorilla off your back? I'm telling you now, it's like, so now when I show up with a more targeted, I know who I'm talking to and what I'm talking about. And so stay tuned. Stay tuned, because I have a lot to say, right? I have some stuff that's been bottled up to get out. So anyway, thank y'all for the introductions. I appreciate you guys. So let's get right into it. So the not so secret art of getting out of your own way. Do me a favor. Somebody tell me, when you saw that, it's like, where did it take you? What did you think? What stood out? And let's just go through it randomly, whatever, no order, just jump out there and go.
For me, it actually made me look in a mirror and say, it's all about me, right? I'm like, wow, wait a minute. I'm the one standing in my own way. The elephant in the room is me, right?
I like that. I'm sorry.
Huh?
No. I love
Yeah,
that. I'm borrowing
yeah.
that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is me. You know, we try to, make that elephant everything else. We add little pieces so the elephant can get bigger, but the majority of that piece of elephant is yourself. And so I'm like, wow, how do I get out of my own way, right? And how did I develop this disease or this illness that allows me to still, stay stagnant, looking at myself not moving. So yeah, it was this is really something that actually says, okay, as I'm looking at the ebook in totality, this is all about you. This is not about anybody else. This is all about you. So yeah, it kind of like, gave me a little bit of gut punch to say, you know what, the elephant in the room has always been me. So yeah.
I like it. Who else? That was great, by the way. Thank you. Who else?
For me, the title, the word art stood out because it really is an art. And I'm like, the first thing, if you ask people what's holding you back, whatever that thing is, they'll start naming things that are outside of them. That's the typical thing. We start thinking, well, because I can tell you certain things about my health it's real, it's valid. My kids, it's valid. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it's about what I'm going to decide to do. Everything is a decision and a step, a decision and a step. And I'm like, all I need to do is make a decision and take the first step because my kids are going to be there. The problems are going to be there. I was like, okay, Reese. Okay, Reese. I hear you. And the reason I say it is an art because if it was just that simple, like, why aren't we all already doing it? Especially even those things like the ones right here, we know. I think we already know it, but why aren't we doing it? So that's the not so secret. So that's what I felt when I read the title.
Yeah.
DD?
Good point.
It was giving me like self-sabotage. Just listening to what Stacey was saying, we think about or we give all of these reasons, and I just had the thought like they're all excuses. I hate when I lose my thought, but pretty much just self-sabotage and how we got to learn how to do it afraid. Speaking from my own experiences, because I'm kind of terrified a little bit.
I like that.
The whole world will know my name. But that's just the truth. But like you said, I got something to say. And I do have a talent, and I got to find the confidence in that talent to get out of my own way, to get where I want to be. You say you want to do these things, but then you don't. So you got to get out of that contradictory stage and just do it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're conscious complicated, huh?
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
So you're consciously complicated.
I am.
Yeah.
That's why it's complicated.
Listen, everyone, listen. The elephant in the room is me. Everything is just a decision and a step. Self-sabotage. I must learn to do it afraid. Listen, we can just close it up and go at this point. Like, there's so much wealth in everything that you guys said. And I'm glad that it stood out. Like I was intentional with using art, like you said, because of that exact point. We know, right? You guys, you'll hear me say, we can teach the class on it, but yet when it's me, or if I call any of you and say, hey, I'm struggling with ABC XYZ, y'all gonna write me a prescription and tell me exactly what to do. So you know what to do, but from a lot of times we know, but we don't believe. And, and the disconnect there. We know,
I-
we know it, we know what it is, but do we really believe? Because if we believe, then it would show up in our actions, right? We would go ahead and make the decision to take those steps if we really believe. And there's some things in there to work on that belief, which is essentially what this quick tool was about. Y'all, let me tell y'all, I took out about 27 pages. I wanted it to be a quick hitter. So I dumped, and then I took a bunch of stuff out. But essentially, this is what this is. Some things that we can do, some actions that we can take to start to kind of jumpstart that belief in ourselves, right? So that we can start taking that.
I like that. I like that. I like the what Warkeys was talking about, the art. When I think about art, I think about mastery, right? It's something that you already have. But again, it takes an ebook like this to be able to, not only maintain the art, right? You have it. You master it. Now it's something that you have to maintain. And I think we always got to keep reminders. The second thing that I like in this ebook is that you said, regardless of any terrible situation that you're going through, there's always an option. And I think that's
gold. So I'm glad you said that's a perfect segue. I was going to say, so the first section, truth is, right? That was an exploration into just kind of bringing to the surface what we already know, right? The fact that it is me, right? I am the elephant in the room, right? I just need to make a decision and go. I have the gifts and talents and a lot to say. I need to stop self-sabotaging, right? It's the fact that, like Stacey said, well, instead of doing this, no, it's owning it, right? So let's go ahead and bring that to the table. So pardon the cutoff, but I wanted to kind of get that there. So no, continue with that because that's great. He brought up the point about no matter how ugly the situation, and I've been in some situations, God knows, and I'm sure if we went around, we could cry and hold each other and embrace because we've been through some things. But look at us, we're here, right? We still have something to say. We're here for a reason. I would say we went through those things for a particular reason and a particular purpose, right? That's yet being revealed to us. And so, but even in those moments, there were always options. Maybe I wasn't aware of them all. Maybe I couldn't see them, but looking back, there was always another way. There was always a decision or a step that I could have taken, right? So let's kind of open that up a little more. Go ahead, Sean, pardon me, but I wanted to,
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think that, we always believe, sometimes we get into situations that may be terrible, maybe where we may feel as hopeless. But again, I like the fact that you say there's options. Many of us close the door to our options every time we get into situations. Like we see the exit, we know that there's doors, but we don't know how to open those, right? So again, knowing that there's an escape route always, no matter what's going on, is so powerful because sometimes we shut ourselves in, right? Knowing that we have the key in our hand. So again, knowing that there's an option, there's another way, there's another escape route.
Mm-hmm.
Just to know that is powerful.
Absolutely. So what else stood out to you guys in that first section, right? When we just truth is just raising, just kind of bringing to the surface what we already know, right? The elephant in the room.
I took notes in order, but I won't be able to know after this section what section we're in.
That's okay.
But I went in order. Take responsibility. You said we don't always speak, think, or act in our own best interest. That I was so upset off that part because I liked me better than this. I was like, damn. And I literally ran through my marriage, even my kids, because with both, but more with my kids, there was some guilt. Like if I'm not doing this as a wife, if I'm not doing this when they need this. And I'm like, you know what? I set the foundation. My kids are all 18 and up. They got what it takes. But now I'm not acting in my best interest when For instance, like my son needed me to pick him up. The girl that he kept dealing with, that it was tumultuous. He knew it. I said, listen, son, if you want to keep being with her, stop calling me when issues arise. But what happened, she's white, he's black, whatever. I said, if police are called, you need me or somebody on the phone. So he did, which of course, I came, but then I still said, you know what, even that though, if you know that's a possibility and she keeps making that threat and you want to keep going back, he's not acting in his best interest, but I'm not either. I said, because I'm not well, I'm not in my optimal health and other things are going on and I can't be jumping whenever he calls or he's going to keep doing that. So I got upset. I stayed with my ex-husband, I feel, too long. There was a point where I prayed for it to work instead of he revealed time to go. But in my head, I'm going, see, not my gut. In my head, I'm going like, Lord, I know you don't just believe in divorce. So, I'm praying for it to work. No, I should have just listened because every time I listen, it works. So I didn't act in my best interest again. And so once I said, okay, do what you're supposed to be doing and the rest will work itself out. And that's the part. We're used to doing what's comfortable, and I'm like, I'm not going to keep going back to what I've been doing. It's not working anyway, so that stood out for me.
No, listen, I love it. I love it. So you said a couple things that really stood out. What I had to write down was every time I listen, it works. And I like that you made the difference between your gut and your head. There's a difference there, right? There's us, and then there's our mind speaking to us, right? We hear it, but there's those voices, right? And you're not crazy. That's how we're wired. And I like how you put it, the gut head difference. I knew what to do. It was clear. The pathway was clear, but I chose to, right? And then I found some things to justify it. In that case, I know you hate divorce, so I wasn't always perfect, so and then you put yourself, and then same thing with your son, right? Of course, it's your son. You want to be there. You don't want to see anything happen to him, but if you keep coming to the rescue, now you're actually blocking the lessons that he needs to learn because and then you're putting yourself in harm's way, right? You have some things that you're working on, like you said, you have some health challenges and life is lifing, right? and now you have to, there's something I talk to my children about, blind loyalty. I said, no. Don't just get in the car and floor it because your homie called. Whoa. What's going on? That blind loyalty, those days are over. You know how many of my homies are never coming home because they want to ride out and then they got this much of the story. And then anyway, but we have to choose us, right? And that's something to live by. Choose you. And not thinking, speaking, or acting in your own best interest is clearly not choosing you. So listen, that's huge. So what else from the truth is section, Dee Dee? What about you? What else?
I gotta go back and look at some things.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So
I just looked at my notes, and what I do, I don't know what section that was from when you said choose and change. Was that from the truth section?
Possibly. Who knows? Because they all tie in. But so tell us about that. Tell us about I just thought that was like, say again. I didn't hear what you said. No. So what did that say to you? Like when because you did put that in the message you sent me. You highlighted that said something to you. What did that say to you?
It says to me that when I say what it is I want, when I make that choice, it's up to me to make the change to get to whatever it is that I want. A lot of people will say they want this or they want that or they want to do this, and then turn right around and come up with 10 excuses as to why they cannot have it. So when you said choose and change, it just struck me like, when you make the choice, you got to make the change. They kind of go hand in hand.
Absolutely. And look, it aligns with what Stacey said earlier, right? She said decision and a step. It's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
Like pick one and go, right? There's a scene on The Wire, right, that stands out to me right now. And it was so funny. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with The Wire, but anyway, so basically the guys, the dope fiends, they were pushing their cart and they banged into the dope boy's truck, right? And the dude was livid. And I mean, he's ready to beat him up. He pulls his gun out, and then the boss comes out. And he like, what's going on? Man, they hit my ride. And he said, well, do it or don't. I got somewhere to be. And he just kept moving and got in the car. And it was just, and it, do it, look, what we doing? Do it or don't. I got somewhere to be. But you get all, a lot of times we're on the fence, and you just said something powerful. You said we'll look at a thing and we'll start coming up with a laundry list of reasons why we can or we shouldn't or we did or why we're not enough, or what, we'll just start writing all this stuff. We'll come up with this list. We'll get stuck in here, and we won't just choose and change. We won't just decide and take the step. So no, that's huge that you said that. And it's so funny how that aligns.
Right.
That's huge. Yeah. He's do it or don't. I got somewhere to be. Like, we're not just gonna stand here and
But I think
all day. Let's go.
Right. I think that's, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's due to what we were talking about before. And that's clarity, right? When you're clear on something, you become more decisive, right? So it's about understanding life gets where it's at, but as long as we have the clarity, then again, we don't have to worry about, being that, we'll have that do or don't type of situation with do it or don't, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm clear, I gotta get somewhere. That's clarity. So if you have that, that's power. That's powerful.
Here's something to think about.
For me, clarity.
I'm sorry.
I was just thinking out loud. For me, clarity is huge. Simply because I don't know. And the fact that I don't know makes me pause. Because I don't like not knowing. Fear of the unknown is daunting.
Mm-hmm. Good word. So let's look at that, right? Because now, of course, I'm deep diving into overthinking. What is it? Where it comes from? What are the sources? How do we overcome it? Like, I'm geeking out, right? But one of the biggest things, I made a post about it the other day, and it was something to the effect of, the next step is always clear, right? Maybe I can't see step 34, but the next step is always clear. And a lot of times, to your point, if I can't see the entire yellow brick road, everything along the way, and the whiz at the end, look, I can see step 1 through 16 is clear, but what's that right there at 17? Let me work that out. And it's like, no. Take step 1, and then take step 2. And because step 1 is always clear. So if we just concentrate on that, and then here's the kicker, we become the type of person that, right? Our identity changes. I used to be the type of person that ponders and overthinks. Now I'm the type of person, I get an idea and I go. And in fact, my new rule is I double down. Not only do I do what I actually double down. That's my new rule. So step 1 is always clear. It's step 33 that we like, well, until I work that out, what? Well, if I, like you just said, the world's going to know my name. Well, 10 of us have to know first. Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Oh, right.
I went too far.
And listen, look, we've all been there. Well, I'm working on something, and I'm looking at, well, what happens when this and this, and it's like, what? What are you talking about? You stressed out about your taxes when you make your millions. What? You ain't made $1 yet from your bit. If you don't just step out there,
that's because I actually did that before, and I knew, I was like, dang, what am I running from? I'm broke. I ain't broke, but I'm like, I'm broke. Taxes when I get rich. So you stop. Stop.
That's what we do.
Okay.
And we're like,
All right. I
and
got it.
It's so funny. I was listening to John Maxwell speak, and he was talking about that very thing. And he was talking about, he gave the example or analogy of when we get in the car at night, right? We can't see all the way to the crib. We can see a few feet in front of us, and we trust our instincts, and we trust that we're going in the right direction. And as we go, the path continues to open up and be enlightened. But imagine that, getting in the car. Well, I can't see all the way home, so I'm just going to wait. What? But that's what we do. And look, here's the painful part. And then Stacey jumping. Here's the painful part, right? When I'm talking right now, I'm talking to people that are gifted, people that are talented, people that have something to do, something to say, people that have received their mission. So for us, it's 10x the frustration. It's 10x the because if you were just a half-wit, if you were just out here not caring about your future, if you were just, but you actually give up, you actually have some, so that makes it so when I'm stuck, it's almost like I start really, really ready to choke myself because I have absolutely no excuse not to be rich. None.
Yeah, right.
None.
Right.
And that makes it so much more frustrating. So that's why it's the next step.
Right.
I can see step one. I can always see step one because the next step is always step one. I can always see step one. And when you get that one, and now I'm doubling down, cancel Christmas. I done got so much done in these last 2 weeks. Forget about it.
Yeah, you've been killing it. You've been killing it. Yeah, because that's your, but that lends to your clarity.
And so
because each step that lends to the clarity issue, right?
Absolutely.
You became your goal. You're now you're out the gate running,
right?
Because you're kind of clear as to where you belong, what position you're going to play. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So clarity is very, very important. But I like how you said that sometimes we beat ourselves up from our past errors and judgments, but that there's no power in beating yourself up, right? There's no power in that.
None.
And I think that some people feel like it gives you, that's false power. That's power that you're giving another individual for your validation. That's still a lack of true power, inner power, right? So I like how you said that, we can beat ourselves all the time, but there's no power in that.
None. So that moves us right into the second section. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question though.
Yeah.
Is overthinking chasing perfection?
So I think perfection is a safe word, right? I'm a perfectionist. I want to do it right. And that sounds good. But if we really peel the layers back, we're afraid to be judged. We're afraid, there's some fear in there.
Okay.
There's some anxiety in there, right? Because what is perfect? Anyway, right? I read this yesterday, and I wanted to throw the whole thing in the trash and do it over because I've learned so much over the past couple of weeks. I can redo this puppy and 10x it. So what's perfect, right? Because your best right now, that's perfect. It's perfect for today, but it's not good enough for next week. So it's an illusion. It's a story that we tell ourselves, to.
That was the point of the question.
I'm a perfectionist, right? Yeah, I'm a perfectionist. And then as soon as I get it perfect, and next thing you know, it's New Year's Eve again. And then it's New Year's Eve again. And then it's New Year's Eve again.
Yeah, I think.
And then it's another birthday. And more of this white stuff keep popping up and all of that. And
that was the other question. We're chasing an illusion. That was
right. To me, perfection is procrastination in makeup.
I like it. I like that. I like that. And honestly,
makeup.
The word perfect a lot of times I'll use that when I'm teaching. I'll say that you're perfect, because if you look up the definition, it just means that you don't lack anything. So you indeed are perfect. You don't lack anything. You have everything you need to go forward. I didn't make up the definition. I just read it and learned it. So anyway, so moving
You know,
to
I
clarity.
look up a definition. Why I didn't look up that? Okay.
So clarity, right? So the next section, right, is what do you actually want? And that is that seeking that clarity, right? Figuring that out, cracking that code. And a lot of times, you know, thankfully, like just from listening to you guys have an idea, some strong ideas about what you want to do and how you want to do it. And you know, that's amazing, right? But once we decide, then we have to choose and we have to change, right? Once we decide, then we have to take that step. And a lot of times we get stuck in, you know, this whole section about what do you actually want. This was a note to self, right? Just trying to sort through that and process that. So it's like, it was like, I had to ask, what would giving your all look like? What would just showing up as the best of you look like? What would that look like? And it's like, okay, in every moment, right? Choosing myself, being on my own side, right? Closing the gap between, you know, where I am and where I want to be, constantly working to close that gap. And those things will bring clarity. Jim Rohn said, and I'm gonna shut up. He said, finding is reserved for those who search. And I was proud of myself because I never stopped searching. I never quit. Every day I'm going to crack this code. I'm going to figure this out. And the benefit of it was learning, growing. And what I told Sean was this. I said, I don't know what I'm building, but when I'm done building it, you're going to be able to see it from the moon. But now that the clarity came, now I understand the mission. And so now not only am I just running, now I have a target. Now I know exactly how to, and now I'm unquittable at this point, right? I was already cool. I could do some things, but now I'm unstoppable now because of the clarity, because I figured out what I actually want.
Right. I think that's important to know, to figuring out what that is. You know, understanding that you are the solution. I think that's important. I mean, when you have the clarity, you realize that, you know, you have the answer. Everybody has the answer. It's always there. There's always going to be questions because we have life challenges, but there's always going to be answers to those questions no matter what. So you are the solution. Are you the solution? Or are you the continuation or the extension of the problem?
Here's when you get, a lot of times we get stuck there, because I was stuck there for a minute. And Sean, I really appreciate you. You challenged me in a lot of areas. And when I wasn't sure how to answer things, I went back to the basics and I said, okay, you know, raise your standards. And what I decided to do was I decided to be great at everything I did. If I was sweeping down the steps, I was going to be great, right? Every interaction with my lady was going to be great. Every interaction with the children was going to be great. Every phone call, Sean, we had was going to be great. Every coaching call I take was going to be great. Everything I put my hands to, if my name was on it, it was going to be great. I was elevating my standards in everything that I did. So I was pursuing excellence in everything that I did. And it helped to level me up, but it also brought with it some frustration because I'm feeling good, because I'm putting good out into the atmosphere, but it still didn't come clear, but I didn't quit. So if you're stuck, if you feel like, I kind of see it, just keep going and just raise your standards in every area, because it could be you cutting corners over here. That's why it's not being revealed to you over here. And that could be the case. And that's a personal exploration, right? But what really helped me was the decision to step it up in every area and not let, because I was unclear here, right? Not let that spill over into everything else, because I am clear here, right? This is unclear, but I know how to fold up this napkin. And I'm going to fold this puppy like I'm at the Four Seasons. I'm going to make it turn it into a dove or something, right? So anything else on clarity? And before we move on to own your crap, that's the next section. Anything else on clarity or deciding what you actually want?
I
I
do
don't
want
Um,
to bring out, oh, hold on, I'll wait.
No, go ahead.
know what this was, but I know page 19, I think, would be in that section. You said when you feel stagnant, take one step towards your goals and watch relief and encouragement show up. That did something for me. Cause again, it's the one decision, one step. That was the name of my coaching business. That's why I keep saying it. Make one decision, take one step. But you said the same thing. Take a step towards your goals, watch relief and encouragement show up. So it's like the analogy you used about driving. I know how to get home, but it's like, I'm afraid to take the step because I can't see all the way to my house when I know how to get there. And so I'm like, okay, even further, if I start taking steps towards home, one, I'm closer to the goal at least, right? But then I'm so good with these tools that it starts raining. I know how to adjust getting home. And then all of a sudden, somebody blocked the way. I know a different route to this home. And I'm like, you know what? This is it right here. That just take a step towards the goal and relief and encouragement will show up.
Wow.
That,
I didn't know I said
like
that. Woo.
Just is a good word. Adjust.
Yeah.
I like that word. I'm gonna write that on a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
I like that word.
Yeah,
Adjust.
that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
And you just said something strong, and I want you two to respond to what she said. She said, I don't go because I can't quite see, but then I remember I know my way home. See, you have a moment, right, where you realize, and then you find the courage to take that step. And then once you start, see what she was just describing was momentum. Once I got some momentum, oh, traffic blocked, cool. I could hit this block, cut through the back way. I was thirsty anyway, hit the joint, get back to it, because I'm in my rhythm now, right? I got some momentum, but when I'm standing still, now I got cement shoes on. But when I start taking steps, it's like I'm stepping out of that quicksand. I'm getting those cement shoes off. And then I just start to feel lighter. And then I can make those adjustments along the way. I can learn the lessons and I can pick things up and I can explore some things. And now I'm better when I get there, right? Because of the detours. And so that was, I love that you said that. That was huge. Huge. All right.
I think that.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
No. Anything else on the clarity before we step into owning your craft?
Okay, I believe that all right, the clarity part. I always believe, and I told you this too, Reese, before. Like, in life, there's wanted and unwanted, right? In order for us to know what we do want, we have to go through some of the things that we don't want. We can't desire anything if we haven't hit any challenges, right? So challenges is a way in order for us to define it at the end of the day what we want. You don't know what a good check is until you had a couple of bad ones, right? So you can decide, you can actually say that this is what I want. I don't want to be broke. I want to be able to do this. You start to desire or create desires within yourselves to pinpoint exactly what it is that you really want in life. And those challenges are there to be able to let you see what it is that you, in clarity, right? Let you see exactly what it is that you want to experience in your life. You got to have those challenges. You got to have those bumps in the road in order for you to say, okay, I want a smooth road instead of a bumpy road. So again, clarity, challenges, all those are things, challenges, I'm sorry, all those challenges are the ones that actually help you in your clarity. Absolutely. So again, you got to have those challenges. You got to have those knee scrapes in order for you to know and desire the things that you want in life. So you got to have contrast. Contrast is important.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes along those lines is about adversity, right? And it says, adversity introduces a man to himself. And essentially that's what you were describing, right? It's when the roads were blocked, that I realized, oh, I know multiple routes to get to the crib, but had the street not been blocked, you know what I mean? So adversity introduces us to ourselves. So that's exactly what SJ was just describing, you know, going through those tests, trials, and challenges, they are actually for us. And when we shift our mindset, and when we get excited when the road is blocked, when we get excited when some negativity comes, when we get excited when someone says no, right? Or when someone says, you're not quite it. When it's like, oh, really? Watch my moves. I'll be back
Watch
in a
me.
month. You know what I'm saying? We have to, but we have to welcome it, and we have to, like he said, we have to look for that. It's like, you know, when you go to the gym, it's like I'm not picking up a 2-pound weight. You know, I'm pushing because I want something out of it, right? And I want to reach that muscle failure. I want to reach that point where I'm pushing because I understand what's on the other side of that. And so we over here ducking and dodging our challenges, and it's stunting our growth. It's keeping us small. And so I'm going to stay here in the starting block, because if I step out there, I might get punched in the face. Well, that punch in the face might teach me the lesson that I need to get over the hump when I get down there. But if I never step out, I'm looking for the thing that's going to help me when I get down there at step 17, but it was right there at step 3 had I stepped out there. And so that's it. I love that you packaged it like that. I love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, moving right along, owning your crap, right? That was funny. I was like, yeah, no, we got to make it. It has to be something. It can't be cute, like take responsibility for yourself. No, own your crap, right? So, you know, and I remember I started that one really talking about, and we kind of started there already, you know, like we're not playing the blame game anymore, right? I don't care if you're 10 or 60, right? Or 60-10, right? We're not playing the blame game anymore. We're not blaming our parents, the spouse, the children, the community, the church, the pastor, we're not blaming social media. We're not blaming, y'all ain't blaming me, right? We have to own our crap. We have to take responsibility for our lives. And we talked about, one of you brought up that word power, that there's power in that, right? That's how we take our power back, by taking, pardon me, ownership for our lives. I talk about this all the time. If it's Sean's fault that I'm slacking, now I got to wait for Sean to fix it. I'm powerless in that situation. So taking 100% responsibility, my thing is, everything is my fault. Everything is not my fault, but everything is my fault because I made some choices along the way, right? You know, and outside, yes, there were some things going on, right? But I made some poor choices along the way. I allowed some things to happen. And when I look at it like that, it's empowering because it takes me out of victim mode. And that's what this is really about, moving me from victim to victor, right? Moving me from the victim to the person in charge, to the decider. I like that, going from victim to decider. Those are two totally different roles. The buck stops here. I'm the decider. I'm the one that I can hear all of that, but I'm the decider. And that's what owning your crap is ultimately about, getting to that point where you move from victim to decider. That's what this is about. What did y'all get from that? Ooh, y'all got me hyped.
Accountability. Accountability. Owning, like you just said, owning your role in whatever the situation is. I like that you started it out with looking in the mirror, because looking in the mirror is the hardest place. It's like the first line plug of my book, but that's the hardest place for people to look, is in the mirror. And you gotta be accountable for everything, because everything starts with self. So if you're unable to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I did it, you stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did it. I didn't do it. I allowed it. Whatever. Owning it. I love that. Looking in the mirror and owning it.
I think that's important. I mean, in the book, Warkey, you have something to say? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was looking at that.
Oh, okay. I like how you said that it's painful. It is, because when you realize that the elephant in the room you have created, and then those components to create, and the life support that you put into that elephant, the emotional attachments to those things that you have given to make that elephant become what it is, where it's no longer able to live in your house, right? That you created, that you ballooned it because of those emotional attachments. So owning your crap is actually looking at the lifelines, those you ever seen somebody on life support, all those what you call it, those wires that's attached to your body, and you fed this elephant to the point where if you were to own your own crap, it would be painful and embarrassing because of where you are now in life because of that elephant, right? Now, and then you got to pick it apart. You ever pull the plug on somebody? You got to take all those things. You got to pull that apart. That's painful, right? I like how you said that discipline weighs pounds, but regret weighs tons.
I was on,
right?
That was profound.
That's what owning your own crap really means. Because if you don't, see, here's the thing. Discipline is painful, but regret is even worse because regret surpasses generations. It's gonna go beyond you if you don't own your own crap. You understand? So again, I believe that, we have to realize what monster we have created in our lives and start to pull the plug and stop feeding it life support so that it can be able to be damaging and create paradigms for the next generation. We have to do that. It's beyond us at some point.
I like that.
Very well said. Wow. Very well said. It's definitely painful, right? And sometimes if we just stop there, it's like, well, nope, I'm just stay in my little bubble, right? Me and this elephant, we gonna chill. But, like you said, we have to pull the plug and then we have to rip all those little sticky things off. And we have to go through that process, because what's on the other side of it, right? Our lives hang in the balance. And you took it even further. You mentioned generations and us. We're the four of us, each one of us just talked about how our lives are committed to serve. Like we all just said that. And so you guys hear me say this a lot. There's blood on our hands. Right. And that's a heavy way to put it, but that's what we're not playing. We're not patty caking anymore, right? There's blood on you. Like if I don't show up, if I don't step into my greatness, if I don't speak, right? If I don't do the things that I'm called to do, if I don't bring these gifts and talents to the surface, if I don't get rid of that freaking elephant, right? If I don't starve it so it can finally fit through the door and get the heck out, right? Then there's blood on my hands. So it's not only me that's impacted. I'm somebody's husband. I'm somebody's dad. I'm somebody's papa. And that's just the ones right connected to me. But I'm called to serve people, right? And so there are lives who are hanging in the balance. There are people who are deaf, but when I speak, they'll finally hear. And I'm over here overthinking. Right. But that's what we do. But we have to, and this is my belief, I believe we have to make it that real. Sean said generations, right? And I see it. Like Warkey said, like Stacey said, she has adult children, so do I. And I'm seeing, wow, I see a lot of the positives, but I see a lot of the negative seeds that I planted as well. And it's like, okay, and I'm doing a lot of cleanup, right? Doing a lot of, but I'm really focused on, planting the right seeds today, doing the best I can in this moment, back to leveling up, back to raising my standards, because I'm seeing that. I'm at the point where there are generations. I'm somebody's papa. That means I have children and they have children. Whoa. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whoa, yeah. I'm responsible for that. You know what I mean? Like, right? I have a role to play there, and I gotta own my crap. I can't be sitting here talking about this and that and that and this, and I ain't know. And then right. And here's the thing. On heroin, so. And here's the thing. What you're going to eventually do, and everybody's done it, I've seen it in my generation as well,
is that those elephants are passed on to me, and I didn't even create it. So now I'm passing on something that I should have taken care of a long time ago, but I didn't. And I passed that big ass elephant on to the next individual so that they can be able to add to that elephant. You understand? So again, I believe, as Reese says here, is that you have a choice. I think that's so, you get to choose what you want to do, right? You get to choose whether or not I'm going to own this. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to cut up. I'm going to start doing some surgery, right? I'm going to start really getting in and digging in bones and marrow, because I don't want that to affect my young one, right? Or whoever you feel or love. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's owning your crap is hard because it's embarrassing, it's disappointing, it's because where you are, right? Nobody wants to, they where you are is the result of the elephant. Okay. But if you own your own crap and you take that pain and you understand it and you kind of own it and you face it, it's so much easier.
Yeah, there's
it's so
beauty
much
on the other
easier to
side
go
of it.
through life. It's so much easier. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, it's disappointing. Yes, you're gonna have all these things. And yes, maybe you want to turn to the side every now and then and say, I can't deal with it. But again, that pain is rewarding because again, you are starting to get clarity and you're starting to understand that you have options and there's a choice.
Yeah,
You
you're
get to
taking your
choose.
power. You're taking the power. And now what comes with that is the understanding that, wow, this is the current situation. And I can either feel sorry for myself, I can either blame my dad and his dad and his dad, or I can say, okay, this is the situation, right? It doesn't matter how we got here. We're down 20, right? But it's only halftime. We're down 20, but all right, we need to fight our way back into this game. What's the game plan? Because looking at how we got down 20, what are we going to do? And now, again, this was an exploration into taking our power back so that we can, to your point, we can change the narrative, right? We can change everything. And yes, it's a lot, but we can handle it. We're built for this. Right, we're built to handle all of this. So, all right, we gotta move to the next one. Anything you ladies want to add on that one before we do?
This was page 24, so I don't know.
So,
Or a note, so I'll just put it like that. But page 24 said, "Are you aware that what you've accomplished so far has no bearing on what you can accomplish from here forward?" And on one hand, I was like, I love that. And then I went, hold on. So here was my dilemma. It has no bearing, and I know you're going to explain me through it, but it has no bearing on what I can accomplish from here forward. I felt like, to a degree, it should have a bearing on what I can accomplish moving forward. I have to talk slow because I'm still thinking about that.
no, so a lot of times I plant little seeds because my whole mission is to make people think, right? So that's one of those things where we can attack it from both ways. So we just talked about momentum. Momentum says I can run through this brick wall. I just ran through 4 other brick walls, right? But if I don't have any momentum, if I haven't been choosing me, right? If I'm not clear on what I want, if I look at my life and I'm embarrassed, to Sean's point, at what I've done so far, then that doesn't mean game over. So what? This is where I'm at. I can, from here forward, right? I can set some goals for myself. I can choose and change. I can decide and step from here forward. And so it's one of those things that you know, of course, we want to get some momentum. We want to create an identity that says, I'm the type of person who ... I'm the type of person who sees things through. I'm the type of person that keeps his word. I'm the type of person who ... And that comes from doing, right? That comes from doing and accomplishing and checking boxes. And so, yes, absolutely. But on the other side of that coin, if I haven't checked the box, if I haven't considered any of this stuff until now, if this is my awakening point, that's a little piece of encouragement to say, wow, okay, I can start here. Yes, because sometimes the elephant is so big, and I'm just like, man, listen, hand me a drink and the remote, and let me lose myself in these. Let me just click up 100 links. Let me swipe until, because I'm gonna pretend that thing isn't there. And this, what I'm proposing here is, oh, no. Yeah, you could be 0-99, but this game 100, you actually can win because you can choose and change, because you can decide instead. And so that's the exploration on that, right? That's how that unfolds. So if that's for that person who may feel like, man, I'm all the way behind. You know what I mean, man? I'm 18. I dropped out in 6th grade. Like I want to go back to school, but I'm gonna take my big grown behind the middle school. Are you kidding me? Like, it's like, well, actually, there's some other options. This is what you can do, brother. Come here, let me holler at you. Right? No, you don't have to go sit your grown self in middle school. No, once you get in that kind of trouble, but there are some other options. There are some things that you can do to move forward, because that person may just say, screw it. Let me just go ahead and stay in these streets because so
Right.
That's all I know.
Right.
Oh.
So that's what that is.
I was thinking on both ends. Doing bad, I get that one. But then I was like, if a person has done really well, now all of a sudden they're stagnant. And it's like, they should be able to move forward because they've done that before. I don't know. I don't know why this one just had me.
No, because there is another angle, and I didn't say it. So to your point, right? So we said it. We talked about momentum. Yes, that helps me go forward. And if I don't have any momentum, so what? I can start from here right now. Now, some people win and kill it.
Yeah.
And then they hit a point where they become stagnant, where they become content, and just because you won up until this point, if you don't continue to decide and step and choose and change, then you can crash and burn, and then the elephant can begin to grow. Sean said a beautiful word. The negative things can begin to balloon. So just because you won up until this point, this is a journey, right? We got to keep choosing and changing. We got to keep deciding and stepping, right? We got to keep on keeping that elephant to a little tiny little fella. We can't keep making that thing so ginormous it can't fit through the door. Right, we got to keep that joke under control.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? So it plays out. That was like a Jay-Z moment. It's like a lot of different ways that can play out. Okay. So that's what that was. So I'm glad you brought that up. But there's probably 50 of those in there intentionally, because again, it's about you thinking. So all right. Okay. F your feelings. Yeah, let's talk about this one. F your feelings. Of course, I know. Wait, tell me when you saw that. I know where did y'all take y'all when y'all first just saw that?
Reese's in his bag right now.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I was annoyed.
Yes.
I was annoyed.
Yeah. So you messaged me about this, right? So let's start with you. Talk to us about that.
Because why are feelings bad? I mean, for real. Yeah. I'm so tired of people like just dismissing feeling. Oh, let me calm down.
No. Yes, bring that. No, we're not. No, we need that energy. So I'm so glad you said that, right? And when, of course, I was going to respond to your message, but I knew this was coming. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to wait. And it was burning me up.
It's brewing in my chest.
I'm glad. So
come on.
So if you look at it, right? Because I know the F your feelings made you go like this. And so you probably read through it like this, right? So what I'm speaking to is being governed by emotions and allowing your emotions to stop your forward progress. right? Be allowing your emotions to dictate to you what happens next. Your emotions have a say, but your intellect should be making your choices. And a lot of times, because something doesn't feel right, we stay stuck and we continue to feed the elephant. And so that's, if you go through it again now with your guard down, you'll see that's what I'm diving into, right? Because it's like, I want to do it, but feel like I totally remove feel like. If I ever have an inkling of feel like, I don't really feel like, I double down because I've completely removed that from my vocabulary. Because what even is feel like? A lot of times you have to do a thing, right? So that you can then feel like it. You got to do. If you waiting on feeling like it, when do you ever feel like it? I go to the gym every morning. I don't feel like it, but I go because I'm a man on a mission. So that's what this is an exploration in, right? Because a lot of times, anytime you talk to people, right, it's about these emotions, and it's this, and it's that, and it's this, and we don't govern our emotions. We allow our emotions to govern us. So they have a vote, but I'm the decider. Talk about going from victim to decider. So
Right.
our emotions can we want to be emotional. We want to be passionate. We want to feel that, but we don't want that to keep us small, because the emotions generally, they're going to show up to protect us. So if something happens, when anger shows up, there's something in me that felt violated, right? So, and we can go through the whole gambit, but ultimately the emotions are showing up to protect us. So yes, I value, I respect, I appreciate the emotions. I'm emotional. I don't call my wife in here. I'm a cry baby, and I'm also passionate. Oh, let me tell you, we can be watching a movie. Listen, if I'm on TikTok and it's one of those reunion videos, somebody ain't seen their uncle for 6 months, they was in the military, I'll be hitting that like button. Woo. So, hey, don't go to church with me. Forget about it. So it's okay. The emotions are fine, but they don't get to dictate to me, because if feel like had the final vote,
right, there'll be no way we will win.
So let me hear you guys jump in on that one while she processes.
Yeah, because I don't like it.
Go ahead, War Keys.
My last two notes. What am I doing that's not moving me toward a better me? And feel like is keeping you, and you named a bunch of things. I wrote the ones that apply to me. Feel like is keeping me check the check and unhealthy. So what am I doing that's not moving me toward a better me? I've worked on a list, truly.
Wow.
One of them is over tending to my kids, not doing things just because I don't feel like it sometimes. And I mean, again, getting shots in your head, I mean, I don't do that for fun. These headaches are serious.
Of course.
But I got my bachelor's degree and my master's degree with these same headaches. So I'm sitting here like, why can't I get it together? You know, like I'm eating this candy right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm doing better. But I will say, you know what? This happened today. I'm pissed off. You know, my kids did this. I'm tired. And then I'll just sit in my bed and watch TV. And then I'll process later, you know what? So I'll tell people in a minute, what are you doing right now that your future self will thank you for? And I'm like, oh, I'm making them rich, instead of me getting on this computer and doing something for Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm able to get myself up like, nope, you know, like what you're saying, I ain't doing nothing moving me forward right now. I'm wasting time. You know, I understand taking breaks are necessary sometimes, but I literally have logged, because I used to log my headaches. When something is really bothering me, I try to look at it. I logged my time, like how much time am I watching TV? How much time did I spend reading or something? How much time on the phone helping other people? I'm like, nope, time to cut it. Time to cut, it's not serving me. And so that was powerful for me. And I decided that I'm going to set goals that whatever I start, I'm going to finish, and everybody else can wait. Everybody can wait.
I love it. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
I believe we are all conditioned, right? We are, and Reese, we talked about this before. We're all conditioned, right? We're programmed in a way, right? And with that programming and condition is what's called your internal talk. So your feel like is governed by your internal talk, right? And that talk about, oh, you don't need to do it today. You know, that negative talk that gets you out of a situation that you could flourish from, right? Whether it be I don't want to go to the gym, or you'll lay in the bed, or I gotta get up at 6 o'clock, and that your internal talk that is governed by conditioning and your setup and your programming, that belief system, that's all governed by I don't feel like, right? Or your feelings, right? Because like he says, like sometimes your feelings are there to protect you. They're there to get you out of something so that you won't feel pain, right? You always want to feel pleasure. You don't want to feel pain. So it's there to protect you. But again, as it's there to protect you to a default, because you will be stagnant if you listen to your feelings. Because again, it's all that internal talk to get you out of not being great.
Well said. Very well said. All right. Dee, what you got to say on this one? Still processing?
I agree. I agree with what you're saying as far as not letting your feelings dictate. I struggle with the whole, I can't sit down and rest. If I sit down, then like Stacey said, I'm wasting time. I struggle with that because I feel like the notion to not just sit down and rest is a trauma response, because you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And I struggle because you need to rest. Sometimes you need to step away from it so you can see it clearly.
Agree, 1,000%.
I think our feelings, don't let them dictate what you do, but let them guide you, because your feelings are what connects you to your humanity. And to deny what you feel is, in essence, denying who you are. And I'm an advocate for what I feel.
No. I love that you said that. And so let's kind of play with that a little bit. So this is how I look at it, right? So first of all, let's address this one. The whole mindset of not giving yourself a moment to sit down and take a breather, that is silly. That's very immature. That's they call it the hustle culture. That's nonsense. That's because I'm an advocate for self-care, and I'm an advocate for listening to your body, right? And if you need a breather, you need a breather. And even back to what Stacey pointed out was, what are you doing, or am I doing something that's moving me toward my goals? Well, resting is helping me to move toward my goals. That's helping me take care of myself mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so rest matters as well. So we never, if that appeared that way, no. I ain't about to. I sit and watch SVU. I throw on an Avengers movie. Listen, I gotta. I was there. I was that person where I would feel guilty if I took a break, but not anymore. Not anymore. So, but now here's the bigger one. The whole thing about the disconnect from the emotions. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. This is the example I always give. You've seen a movie before where they're in the war room. It's the president, secretary of defense, all the colonels and generals, they all sitting around, and there's an issue going on. Everyone brings their perspective to the table, right? Everyone has a voice, or else they wouldn't be allowed in the room. Everyone has a voice. Your emotions get to speak, right? They get to speak, but I'm the decider. And so, because anger shows up, it doesn't get to just run amok, because whatever the emotion is, it shows up for a reason. I have to you're in that room. So if the admiral says, well, hey, listen, we have a submarine a couple miles from there, we can get there, boom, 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 we can blow the whole thing up. It won't be no more island. I can have them there in 90 minutes. And then, you know, the Air Force, he said, well, you know, I got some F-22s that can be there in 15 minutes, and we could just drop some bombs, and we can do this. Okay, cool. And then there's another secretary. He's saying, well, if that happens, this is going to happen to the stock market, and this is going to happen, and we have to think about this. And then remember, you know, right now it's 9:39 p.m. here, but it's something a.m. here, and this is going to happen. And then remember, we was just talking to England about this, and so you're taking in all the information, and you have to process it all. But then you have to be the decider. What we tend to do is we just let everybody run amok. We just let this show up and that show up. So this person got on your nerves and it made you feel this way. And then this happened and it made you feel this way. And then this happened and it made you feel this way. And then you saw this particular, you read this meme and it made you feel this way. And then you read this and it made you feel this way. And you listened to the podcast and they was talking about this and it made you feel this way. And all that, now it's this gumbo of stuff going on. And who's in charge here? Who's in charge? Who's in charge here? And so what I'm proposing is for you to step up and say, cool. And I got this from the movie W. And they was talking about George Bush, what we should do after 9/11, blah, 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 blah. And everybody was, he said, I'm the decider. Like I hear all of y'all, I'm the decider. And so that's what I'm proposing this. Okay. And I always use the one about if anger knocks on the door, I'll just open the door and let it have its way. What's up? Well, this person did this and this happened and that was disrespectful and boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. Thank you. But you tear my shit up every time you come through here. So thank you, right? But I'm gonna handle it this way. You know what?
Right.
I'm gonna create some space between me and that person. Or I'm gonna have a conversation in a way that's healthy, because if I let you have it your way, I might be 18 again, and I might want to, you know what I'm saying? We might handle it a different way, you know, or now I totally don't want to be bothered with you because I don't want to go sit in the county. So, but what I'm proposing is,
Right.
thank you. But now I'm the decider. That's what I'm proposing.
Right.
Not a separation from it, but not letting it, remembering that you're the decider, intellect over emotion. Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, so I was going to touch on that. You know, we do have our feelings and we do have our emotions, but I think that we need to tap into our our higher faculties, which is discernment and perspective and imagination and creativity, right? We have these higher faculties within us that we need to tap in. Yes, we have these feelings, but again, as Reese was saying, we need to start looking at our higher intellectual self and let that govern those feelings. Like let that intelligent being of who you are, right, rule the feelings instead of the feelings ruling you. Because when you rule, when you're ruling with feelings, you're reacting. You're not responding, right? So when a feeling comes up, you say, well, you know what? I'm angry, so I'm gonna just have this knee-jerk reaction, which will domino to this, and that, to a situation you don't want to be, because you are now in essence out of control. But when you are using your God-given intellect, you allow those feelings to be checked by that intellect, because you're a human being, your intellect, that will rule, and that will be able to control the feelings that you may have and then put them in their proper perspective. It's all tapping into those higher faculties that you have been gifted with, and to use it more often than being a knee-jerk reactor.
And so the big thing I always talk
Does
about.
that make sense?
Oh no, you're right on target. One of the things I always talk about is emotional maturity, right? So
yeah,
emotional maturity. Here's the big key, right? Creating a space, right, between the emotion showing up and your reaction or response to the emotion. Most of us, it shows up and boom, to his point, knee jerk, whatever. When we reach that emotional maturity, the situation shows up, the emotion shows up, and it gets to speak its piece. It gets the podium, right? And then in here, right, we filter it through here, we process it, and then where I said intellect over emotion, Sean just said it very poetically, right? He packaged it, you know, in a pretty nice box, intellect over emotion. So what happens is the emotion shows up, often we're here. When we create that space, now he talked about perspective. He talked about processing and looking at it in a different way and using those faculties and deciding, well, what do I want to happen in this situation, instead of just allowing the emotion to dictate the next step. And so that's what I'm proposing, creating that space, because a lot of times we'll see like, okay, yeah, I kind of was way over here. I was over here. I was here. I was up. I was there. I was in. I was all over the place. Whereas when we create that space, it can take the podium, but then again, I'm the decider, and I'm going to make a healthy decision based on what I want. So, awesome.
Right, and that space, and that space you're talking about, it could be 2 seconds, 1 second, it could be 3 seconds, but that space will allow one question to be asked. Is this feeling that I'm feeling, is that feeling is going to allow me to get from where I am to where I want to go?
Yeah.
You got one question.
Yeah.
And that allows you to be able to filter, be able to say that question and say, nah, if I do that, then I'm going to go to jail, then I'm going to do this. And so that space allows those questions, that question to be asked. Like, if I do something now, where is that going to lead me? Is it going to benefit me? So at least get in that space, whether it be 5 seconds to it, it just allows you to be able to ask that one question.
It's huge. And the question I use, and then we're going to go to the last section, is what else could this mean? Literally, that thing, it kept me out of prison. What else could this mean? Keeps me in a great marriage. What else could this mean? What else could that mean? And again, you have the podium. Okay, well, what else could that mean? Because what am I filtering it through? Did I have an amazing day where I'm feeling high and I'm just like, oh, that's nothing. Come on over here, let me love on you. Or did I have a funky day and then the next, so asking yourself that, what else could this mean? What else could this mean? Well, what else could this mean? It literally, it simmers it down. And then it lets you activate some other things, and it just, it kind of shifts your mind a little bit. So, but listen, everything said was gold, and that's a big thing, right? That's not something that you just kind of grab and go, and that's a process to work through. And then there are tools that you can definitely put in place, and one of them is just that, working on creating that space and asking yourself those questions, really to just kind of shift your thinking, to activate your thinking. Because generally when the emotion shows up, we surrender to the emotion, especially if we pride ourselves in being connected to the emotion, then we really surrender. And, is that healthy? Well, you ask yourself that, because if I say, what else could this mean? Or if I process through it and the decision is the same, it's the same, but give yourself a shot, because probably 99% of the time, there's another way to handle it, a healthier way to handle it. Still letting the emotion have its way. All right, you guys rock. All right, so now this one, if you want more, do less. This is the last section. If you want more, do less. So when you saw this, where did that go? What somebody open that one up for us.
Keep it simple.
There you go. That's a big one. That's a big one. So essentially, what I was proposing here was to your point, to keep it simple, right? That we look at this mountain and we get intimidated, right? And we don't take any steps because this is such a huge mountain, but we don't realize that, well, you just climb the mountain one step at a time. But a lot of times our ego gets in the way. And if I can't write a 400-page book, then, or my book gotta be, or my this has to be, and we have this disconnect, and then we never take a step. And so what I'm proposing is do less. Back to what we were talking about earlier, just take one step, and then just take another step, and then just take another step. But a lot of times our egos won't allow us to do that. So this is essentially what I'm proposing here, because what we want to develop is that consistency, right? We want to become consistent, and we want to become known to ourselves as a person who takes steps. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I have that type of reputation with myself. But what we'll do is we'll say, it's new year right now, I'm going to do this. And that is big. That's a lot. And then when I can't do that, I just abandon ship. I don't do anything. And then we get stuck in that cycle. And now it's New Year's again. And we're going to do it for real this time. And now it keeps going and going and going. So
I'm gonna tell the truth.
Proposing here, right? That's what I'm proposing here. And a lot of times it's our ego, right, that gets in the way. You know, especially gifted people. What you mean? Like I can.
Is it my ego? I thought it was my fear.
It's a combination of both. You're a little afraid, but you're also a little
Ego,
arrogant
fear.
because you know who you are and what you're capable of. And your ego is like, I'm Didi. On that little stuff.
It's her face looking at you.
I don't have a poker face. I'm sorry.
You do
But
not.
that's what happens. We've all been there. I've been guilty of it many, many times, right? But now, now I understand, like, just taking a half step is a half step forward.
Right.
Before, I'm gonna be cool right here. I'm Reese. And now I'm right here with the cement shoes on.
And call it a win. A step is a win. But my thing is this, is that I've been guilty of being, and Reese would know, of being consistently inconsistent, right? I'm consistent on that. That's because of how I'm built, right? How I'm built and programmed, right? You know, down to parents was inconsistent. I just inherited that, right? So being consistent is basically every day saying, I love you. Like, I promise this to you, right? It's basically looking at you and saying, and just looking at you and saying that you deserve this. Even if you make it tomorrow and you go 10 minutes on the treadmill, it's a piece of love, man. It's a piece of love that you gave to yourself, you know? And it's just a way of just getting, you know, and every day you do it, I mean, it's really, to be honest, I'm sure everybody has it, man. It's hard, very difficult to be consistent. It's difficult to love yourself too. So at the end of the day, it's like, you got to be able to just, like you always say, this whole entire book is to choose you. And that's difficult too sometimes. But to be consistent, everybody says, like, it's almost like consistent is like a buzzword in today's society. Like, it's in every social media, consistency. It's just, man, you gotta just wake up and say, I love you today. I just feel like I love you. Like, yeah, you gotta do it. Yeah. Like, you gotta do it.
Well said.
So it's just, are you worth it, man? Are you worth it? It's hard. Honestly, it's difficult.
And sometimes that's not there, right? Because my story is one that my persistence wasn't about me until recently. You know, I really put my head down and said, I gotta go. I gotta focus. I gotta figure this out. It was because I was raising Black boys. And there was something in me that knew I couldn't quit. It wasn't because I wasn't loving me. That concept was foreign. I didn't feel worthy of that. I felt worthy of showing up for them. And so what I've learned is, while you're working that out, take a step. To your point, because of the consistency, take a step. You know, take a step. No, don't go run 10 miles. You know, park a little far at the Target and walk. Just do something, right? Go in the Target. Don't go straight to what you need. Do 2 laps around the store. Like, just do something. And every day add to it. And every day add to it. And you'll look up and then wow, okay, man, I'm gonna write this book. It's gonna be 400 pages, but it's gonna be one sentence at a time. And if every day you write a sentence, you'll look up. And next thing you know, now oh man, I'm 70 pages in. You know, but again, our ego gets in the way. And then we have.
I like that. I like how you said that.
No. Just one step.
I like how you said that.
One step.
Yeah, I like how you said that.
That's the thing. Because then
It's
we
your
get
why.
frustrated.
It's your why.
Like, no, what Jim Rohn said, you don't have to build to sit. No. Just take one step. And what happens is and the reason I use ego, and this again, it's a shock word, but it's real. It's because we get so cute that we don't value that one step, right? We don't value that one step because I'm me. 3 butts, 1 step. I run 10 miles out here in these streets, and now I'm sitting my 10-mile self on the couch, right? Whereas if I have a little bit of humility and I get my ego under control, because I need that ego to push me, but I don't need it to keep me seated. Again, that's where that emotional maturity, right? Ego shows up, and I just yeah. When I figure it all out, then I'm gonna show up. Meanwhile, I'm over here showing up wrong, showing up with a list. Stacey was laughing at me today, showing up this way, doing this, doing that, trying things, changing my name, trying this, trying it this way, trying it this way, trying it this way. And then now I got a rhythm. And now it's like, whoa, man, he really good. Oh, that joker, he done been through some things. You know what I mean? This is a process. He's you know what I mean? He's climbed this mountain. You know what I mean? He just leaped to the top of this joker. No, he climbed up, he cut himself, he fell all the way back down a couple times. He had the right equipment, but he learned and he refused to quit. So that's
I think that's clarity adds to that consistency. If you're clear on what it is that if you're really clear as to why you wake up and yawn in the morning, if you're clear as to, like with you said, you have boys. That was your why. They see me walking. They emulate me. They want to be like me. And if I'm doing it for them, even if you say I'm doing it for them, right? Mm-hmm. Then you're clear as to that why. You're clear. Like, I'm doing it for them. Forget about everything else. I'm doing it for them.
Yep.
Then the consistency will start showing, because again, you have a responsibility to somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing it for them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's strong. That's powerful.
That's
people haven't found people haven't found their reason for being and living and exist. They haven't found that. Absolutely. They're not clear on that. Yep. And once they do, then the consistency will start. Like with me, my why is I have type 2 diabetes, I have high cholesterol, and I've got asthma. I need this. Listen, that's where it's at, right? So I'm clear on that. So therefore, I'm consistent in doing things to adverse that.
Yep. And here's the next level to that. And then we're going to do, like, I guess we'll pass the mic for last words. And I'm glad you brought it up in the way that you did. But now the next level to that is what I experienced, right? And again, the things we go through, a lot of times we get frustrated, we don't understand, it doesn't make sense. But now you just really helped me to really go up a little bit, go up another level. Because in all of those years of not being exactly sure on which one of these lanes, which path to go, I never stopped moving. I never stopped learning. I never stopped trying. I never stopped searching. And that is a big one. We want to sit still and wait on clarity to come bust us upside the head. And what did Marie Forleo, she said, clarity comes from engagement, not thought. So my clarity came because I just kept trying. And I just kept trying. And I just kept trying. And the benefit was I just kept learning. It's like, I don't know what I'm training for, but I'm going to fall on the floor and do these push-ups. And then when the thing shows itself, I'm fit, I'm in shape, I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't need a minute. Like when overthinking and accountability and overthinking hit me, I didn't have to go I was already ready. And that's right. And that's the next level, even to what you're saying about when people need to find their why. And all of that is absolutely true. But until that shows up, there's some things that you can be doing. There's some reading, some studying, there's some separating from, there's some connecting to, there's some investments that you can make. There's some steps you can be taking to move in the direction of And because you know the direction, you may not know quite what to do. But until you get your why, keep searching for it. Remember, finding is reserved for those who search. And that's the next level of that. So I get it. I get you don't know what to do, but what can you be doing? Well, then you need to be doing this more. You need to be doing this less. You need to be, so there's always something we can do until we know what to do. Because the way it hit me, I literally, like, it was in stride. I'm running, the baton came, oh, cool. You know, now I could pick up the pace, but I was already on the track. I was already running on the track. But now that I got the baton, now I'm going. Now I can sprint because, oh, I'm crystal clear now. But had I been up in the stands waiting, the baton would have never. Anyway, so all right, let's bring it on home. So overall thoughts, feelings, insights, last words. Let's go around. Whew, this was fun. I appreciate y'all. I don't know how I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'll go.
I'm
I
wired.
feel like my thoughts. You said something, I don't remember what section, but we live lives that are not our own. So my thought is to live my life, my own life for me. Even when you don't know what you want, a good way to figure out what you want is to start recognizing what you don't want. When you're recognizing what you don't want, then it'll show you, okay, well, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. This is that. And also just be strong enough to break the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. She said that's it, like that wasn't nothing. Thank you.
I mean, that's all.
Thank you. Go ahead. Who?
SJ probably close it out, so I'll go next.
No, go ahead. In fact, Marquise, I want you to close it out. Okay, no stop. Because I like to hear your. Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna just say real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Say again.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Pardon me. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I took out of this is I believe that we are designed, right, for accomplishment. We're designed for success, right? Design meaning that whoever the creator created us. When a car is designed for speed, that means they have some kind of intricate, tools in there that makes it go fast, right? You ever been on a road where I've had a car and I pressed the button and I'm now I'm going fast, like all of a sudden, like, what the hell did I press? Like, it's just revving up, it's going, it's speeding up, and I'm like, whoa, I'm going too fast. I want you to play with your design. Start knowing that you have the tools and resources within you to speed. You're designed for it, so play with it. Like, I be on the road if I'm in the car and I realize that I can speed and I can go fast, I start to play. Like, oh shoot, all right. So now I'm on the open road. Let me just press this button like I did last time. And let me see how far this sucker go. Mm-hmm. Play with yourself. No, play with yourself, meaning, you know what I mean. But I'm just saying, like, you're designed for these things.
She works with middle coolers.
So be certain, do your due diligence in learning you.
Do
your due diligence in learning exactly who you are. You got that speed in you. You got it. You just gotta play with those buttons, right? So when you're on the open road to clarity, you're gonna fly.
Open road to clarity.
Open road to clarity is freedom.
I love it.
So play around. You play around with your design, because you haven't even touched the surface yet.
I love it. Very well said.
You can't say that.
With middle schoolers, so don't mind her.
Can't say that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Stacey. Bring us home.
Bring us home, Stacey.
I heard everything you said. Oh God, I needed that. I needed that, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, got me crying. Okay, so I want us to start by saying thank you, Reese, for this. This was really good. And your book, again, because we all do this kind of work or whatever, and I'm sure we are into self-development, you think you kind of know this already. And then, but seeing it, I don't know, seeing it in the book and then hearing each of your perspectives has given me more to look at. SJ, I already follow you and look at your stuff. Dee Dee, I think I follow you. I just
I
don't.
was about to ask. I don't know. Do I?
I think I do. I just don't. You know, I don't see a lot of people's stuff anymore. I don't even see Reese's anymore. But I know I follow them. But anyway, I want to tune in more to what you got going on. But I'm gonna just read my notes like I do. Arrogance, Reese, you brought that home for me because kind of like Dee Dee, when you said arrogance, I'm like, nah. But the way you broke it down, yeah. SJ, I'm the elephant in the room. I like that. And I love you. That helped me. Because I'm like, okay, I'll say that to myself. Because I know that I do things for people I love. I do it for my kids. I do it for my family. I do it for my students. But I'm like, okay, tell myself that, you know, I love you. I'm going to actually say it. Because I know I love myself, but sometimes I'm not treating myself like that. Like Reese said, in my own best interest. The discipline weighs pounds, regret weighs tons. That killed me. Because me and my son talk about, he said, what is your biggest fear? And I said, dying with regrets. I said, I don't want to regret anything. So when you said that part, that hit me. And then I'm using what Dee Dee got out of the book, which is choose and change. Those 3 words are super powerful. So that's what I got. That's what I'm taking with me.
That's what's up. That is what's up.
So I want to thank all 3 of you again, just like you just said, for everyone's insight. This was really, really fun. This was fun. This was really, really enlightening. You know, I'm really excited about what's next, right? For myself, obviously, but for each of us, right? I'm sure I saw the light bulbs and I saw the things unfolding, right? And so now we take this and, you know, we launch out from here, right? As Stacey taught me, it's up from here, right? And so, you know, I'm super excited, man. I really, really appreciate you guys, you know, investing the time and energy and effort into, you know, into doing this, you know what I mean, for me and with me. And, you know, again, it's up, you know, we're going up from here, man. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And, yeah, I'll be calling on y'all for something else, right? So look, when I'm gonna be posting this tomorrow because it'll actually be live. It's actually live, and no, not this video. Actually, well, I'll figure that out. But the ebook. So if y'all can help me out and post it and share it, and I may call on you guys for some individual feedback, or I may just grab it from here. I don't know. But anyway, I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for y'all continued support. Thank y'all for always being there, being in my corner and all that good stuff. Go ahead.
If you post a video, just make sure you get my good side.
Oh, we got you. We got you. We got all your sides from the beginning when the thing was going on. But I just want to say thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And you know, this was really, really good. And we could have kept going Joe Rogan style but I had to kind of bring it in, you know what I mean? Because I looked at the clock like, oh shoot. But anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. As y'all know, if there's anything I can do, you guys know, reach out. I'm here. You know what I mean? You know, you utilize me. That's what I'm here for, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. I love y'all. Stacey, let's talk tomorrow because obviously we didn't know it was going to go this late.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good night, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Bye.